Light TV. I'm Elisa, and today I wanted to show you some fun new things that I think you're really going to enjoy, and you can get so many different looks from this technique that the sky is the limit. So here's just a few things that we're probably going to be playing with today. I have my extruder, and the extruder comes with 20 discs, so you have your choice for whatever design you want. And I'm going to show you, a few of the things that you can do that you may not know. So I want to share that with you. I have these little ball styluses, which is what I used around these petals here. So I wanted to show you that. And then I have some cookie cutters. These are round ones, but certainly you can use any. And this is the pieces that we're going to work with mainly today. And these are stampers. And they come with a squeegee, which is just a plastic squeegee, and they come with this little pouncer, which is rubber. It's not a sponge, it's rubber. So you're going to need some ink, or I'm going to use ink today. That's what I'm using. And I have the Dewdrop Brilliance inks. These are the ones I like to use. But the thing about the ink is you don't want to get so much ink on there then it becomes blobby. You have to find a happy medium for your ink, and I'll share tips on that as well. But you know what? It's not always foolproof. I'll warn you about that. You have to learn what works with your ink pads and things like that. Okay, so let's get started here with this. We're going to start with this pattern right here. And you can't, I don't know that you could pick this up on camera, and they're silver, and so it might be a little difficult anyways because of the lights. But they're very shallow designs, so you can't really just go stamping them into the clay. That's not what these are about. These, you add the ink on top, and it gets down into the little grooves there of the plate, and then you can squeegee off the extra ink so that it's just down in the recessed areas. And I use this little pouncer to get my ink on so that I don't put too much on, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'll show you how to use these, and these are some things that I kind of elaborated on. These are actually just stamped and cut out with a cookie cutter. So let me set those aside. And this one here, I stamped it, and then I used my extruder with the disc that's looks like a teardrop, which is, where is it now? I don't see it. Okay, I don't know where it is. But, oh, there it is, right here. The little teardrop. You can see. So I used that in my extruder, extruded out these little pieces, and then I used my ball stylus. Let me get some things out of the way here. And so I used the stamper, like I said, and then I used the ball styluses to come back in here and poke these little dots. And that was just simple. This one here, obviously I used this plate. And then these were extruded pieces, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes here. Alright, so let's talk about this. Now, the ink. I know that some of my inks are brand new, some are, older, and they might be a little less juicy. And really, those are the ones you probably want to play with more. The brand new ones can be a little tricky if they're too much ink, but use your pouncer and that will help. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting the ink onto the plate, okay? And you can rub it around like this, you can pounce it so that it gets in there. You could even take the actual ink and go like this, but then you're getting a lot on. You see how much more it gets on? So it really just depends if you really want to, if you don't care about wasting ink, or if it's not a big concern, you can do it this way. But you're always going to get more ink, and it's going to be more messier, so you have to consider that. So you definitely want to have some paper towels or something to clean up right there as well. So now, let me get my squeegee. So what we're going to do is we're going to squeegee off the excess ink. And I'm going to wipe it on a paper towel. So what we're trying to do is just get it into the recessed areas and not on, the top. And so that's the reason why you don't want to use too much, because then you know, you can end up with it blobby. And it happens, so like I said, you have to get a feel for this. Don't expect perfect results on the very first try. Although I did get some pretty good results on the very first try. Just what I'm saying to you is you're going to have to experiment with your ink to see, you know, what your ink, how, you know, how heavy it is when it goes on or whatnot. And you can look at it and see if there's any little areas you want to touch up and give it another squeegee. Okay, and you can wipe down the edges. And what I do then is I take the clay and I place it, and I make sure not to move the design when I'm doing this. Okay, and I'm not squishing it because I'm not trying to get it into those grooves so much, you know, rather than just trying to get the ink to get onto the clay. So you want to make sure there's no air pockets or anything like that. And then you want to pull it back and reveal it and see what happens. Now, I can see that it's a little light on this one side, so let me give it another workaround here. And I'm not applying a lot of pressure, like I said, I'm just trying to get the ink to get on there. And voila, there she is. Beautiful. I love it, I love it, I love it. Now this is the thing, the plate is about 2 inches or maybe a little more than 2 inches, so you don't have to use the whole thing. You know, you can come back with your cookie cutters and you could, if you like the center, you could cut out the center, make earrings with it, you know, whatever you want you can do at this point. So that's the beauty of it. You don't have to use the whole piece. And actually there's a lot of ink still left on this plate, and you could probably print again. Now I really liked how that looks, and I could come and take another plate and lay this on top. Okay, now let's get a bigger cookie cutter. And I can't really see what I'm doing at this point because it's way in front of me, but you'll get the gist. So look at how gorgeous that is. Look at that look. Now you can leave it puffed up like that, or you could kind of set it down in there, whatever you want. You could put a stone in there, you know, like set a little stone, anything to make a gorgeous pendant or whatnot, whatever you decide. So really, I mean, they're very easy to work with, these plates, and so beautiful, and there's so many possibilities. I would print this again, actually, because there's still plenty of ink on there. So one you might get more than one print out of each time. So you play with it and see what happens. You know, see how juicy or dry your ink is. And like I said, you're going to have to feel your way around it. But how beautiful is that? I love that. So those are the kind of looks you can get with this. So now let me talk a little bit about the extruder, and then we'll play with that some more. Now, the extruder, like I said, comes with 20 discs, but you know, you probably have seen a lot of extruded art going around. It's really popular right now, where you see different canes made with extruders. Well, it's very easy to make a cane with an extruder, and then you can use it to elaborate on your designs. So all I did was condition some pearl clay, and this is some pearl purple, and I made a log. I just rolled it into a log, plain and simple, nothing extra special. And I'm going to create like a little cane. And so I like to cut my edges and make them straight when I'm doing caning. Okay. And then I just roll this around, and I have this on the thickest setting of my pasta machine. Okay, so all I'm going to do is roll it around and then cut off the excess. And you can, the clay will make a mark so you know where to cut. And you just come back and cut that extra off, and then piece this together. Okay, so at this point we want to just get those two colors to meld. And we want to stretch it a little. So we're going to go a little skinnier with it. Don't worry about your ends. You can kind of tap them on your work surface, like so. And at this point now, we want to decide what we want to extrude. Okay, so let's start with something that would give us the look of the cane. So let's go with this big circle. And so this is the end piece. You just drop your circle right in there and twist it on until it stops. And then you want to pull out the other end And you're going to take the piece you just made, where all you did was wrap around the purple around the pearl, and stick it right in there. That's why we stretched it so that it would fit in there. Okay, and then you're going to put this in until, as far as it goes, and then you're going to roll this down the rest of the way and tighten that. Okay, make sure your ends are tightened. You don't want to go crazy with tightening it. You just want it tight enough that it's not going to come apart. So then I start to use my handle, and you'll see it's starting to come out the end. Okay, now it's starting out where it's almost creating like an ombre look. You know, you never know exactly how it's going to come out. So you do this a little, and you figure out, okay, that's probably all I need. All right, depending on what you're going to make. So then I use my blade and I cut that off. And I've got a perfect little cane that I could then do anything I want. I could embellish things with it. I could actually cut this into pieces and put it back together and reduce it. So there's all kinds of things you can do with that. So, okay, this is probably more than I'm going to use for a project. So I don't want to have to make that same exact colors again. I'm going to just go ahead and change my disc out mid-extrude. Okay, and the way I do that is kind of come in here, clean off the edge, pick what disc I want to use next. Let's do that teardrop one I was showing you. And then I just put that in at the end. Actually, I'll put it in here, like that. Twist it back on. And now I can start extruding a whole different shape midway, and I don't have to change my colors. You know, it'll all go together, but I'll have multiple looks with just one extrude, you know, which I thought was a great idea I came up with. Probably a million people have come up with it, but to me it was new. So there you have that. So this is the round and this is the teardrop. I don't know if you can see the teardrop as well. It's kind of small. So, I mean, the sky is the limit with these. And this is the teardrop shape is what I used on this one. The flower to make these petals. And so when you're cutting a cane, because these are basically a cane right now, you do want to let them rest a little so that it's not, you know, soft and mushy and distorts on you, but we don't have time for that now, so I'm going to just show you how I cut a cane. I use both my hands, okay? It gives you more stability and helps you get a better cut. So use both of your hands and you want to go straight down. Now there are a lot of things on the market for cutting canes, and I'll probably be showing you one later on in the season, but really you just need your hands and you just have to get a feel for it like anything. The first time you do it, it probably is not going to be perfect. It happens to everybody. And so I don't know if you're noticing, but as I cut, I'm turning the cane because it does start to squish. And that's one of the reasons why you have to let it set up, which I should not be cutting it now, but, you know, obviously for time's sake, we have to. But you can let that set up, cool off, and you won't have the distortion that I'm getting here. So at this point, you can do anything you want with it. And, okay, say I want something else now. Okay, I've got I've got my teardrop. Let's cut a couple teardrops so you can see that a little better. So here's the teardrops. Might be a little hard to see, but I will take some pictures for you. And so let's change that again. Let's see what else we can come up with. So I'm going to just cut off that extra and save that, because you never know what you're going to want to use it for in your project. And let's do some spaghetti kind of ones. Let's do this one. And then we'll have 3 different extruded pieces that we can play with and get different looks with. And that's what I did on that other piece I showed you, which I will show you again. So then I'm going to put this disc right into here, into the bottom again, and twist that back on. I still have not changed out the clay. I'm still using that initial, like, cane piece that we made. But yet I'm getting now 3 different looks with the same colors. And here you have that. So there's these pieces now I have to play with. And I still have quite a ways to go to extrude everything. So I could even change it again. Let's take these off here. let's go one more time. I think I have enough clay to go one more time, changing the disc. And, I may not. Let's see. Let's do a square. Here's a square. And I should have put that in there, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so then let's do the square. Yep, I still had some clay in there. Awesome. Woohoo! And here that comes. And look at how easy. I don't know if you can see me. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. There we are. We're at the end of the road. That's all the clay. And let me cut that off. And let's see what we got there. So really, just with 2 colors of clay, I've gotten 4 different ways of, you know, shapes, whatever, that I can use for whatever I want. So this created a nice square, and there's the cane end of it. So we got out of just that one kind of extrude, if you want to call it, 3 different looks. We got the teardrop one, which is right here. We got the circular one, we got the square one, and then we got the spaghetti-ish one. And these are pieces that you can use in all different kinds of ways. So you need to think about how you can use them and just play around with it. Let me show you this one here. So this one here was one, I haven't put it all together because I'm still playing with it, as you can see. So this one was done obviously with the same plate we just used, and I had red clay, and then I used white ink on it. And so I stamped that, and then I just started playing with it. And I did actually, I used this this one here, which is like a half circle, and that's what I extruded out of that. And so I have all these other pieces that you can see here with those colors. And these were all done with just one color. Here's that half circle one. And so I just cut pieces off that, and I could begin to build stuff. And really that's what it is. These are building blocks for you to elaborate and make more stuff that's cool, you know. And so let's play a little with this one here and see what we got. So we have the teardrop already on there. Let's maybe put a few circles going around. That might be real pretty. Although my cane is a little soft, we'll see what we can come up with. So let's cut a couple slices. And you know what? I'm going to let them squish. I want them, I think I like that squished look for this. Since, you know, the middle of a flower is never really, you know, perfectly round. So so now I've got that squished look, and I could come back in here and lay that squished look. Listen to me. And I could lay these around here and create a whole nother look to this piece and give it just total, you know, dimension. So don't be afraid to play around. That's really what this is all about. You know, play around, have fun with it, see what you like. And really these plates are a nice starting base for your middle because they're gorgeous. And these are called Bohemian Rhapsody. And I got that from the name from a Queen song. It seemed fitting. And they come in 5 discs. And it comes with the squeegee and the pouncer too. So you have a lot, as you can see, different designs that you could play with and make things with. So don't be intimidated. Have fun with them and play around. You're gonna just be in awe of some of the designs you get. On that one, I just went halfway around, so you don't have to go all the way around. You can do halfway around, anything you want. I mean, and just get totally different looks with it. One other thing before I go, let me show you real quick how to make a reduced cane, so that if you wanted to have something that was a little more intricate. I think I should have enough here. Let me get this out of the way. Sorry, guys. Alright, so if you wanted to make a reduced one, if you wanted to have multiples all at once, you would need pieces. Okay, so we're going to cut. I usually work one in the middle, and I think usually 5 around. So let's see. So I should need 6 pieces, which I don't know if I'm going to make. So I'd start in the middle, and I'd piece the pieces around that middle one, like so. And I'm sure, you know, you've seen canes like this. It's nothing new. So let's see. I'm going to run out. I'm not going to have enough, but you'll get the gist. Okay, so then you would piece all your pieces together around that once. Let me make this a little longer. Around the middle piece. And you could stretch them if need be. Well, I don't have enough pieces, but we're gonna go with it. So I've really, in a way, just created a little flower just by doing that, by piecing those together. And so I've created a reduced bullseye cane, which is, to me, looks like a flower. So let me cut into that and show you that. So it's very easy to create your own canes very easily with the extruder as well. And then I could come back and I could wrap another color around it. I could wrap this around it and get another look. And that's how you start building your canes too. And then I could reduce this, and then I could add this to this piece. And so you see where I'm going with this. You could just, the sky is the limit. I mean, you can just keep building on your designs and adding elements that make it even more beautiful. And there you have that. And I've just created a cane in like 3 minutes. So don't be intimidated, have fun with it, and you know, check out these nail plates. They're in our shop at polymerclaytv.com. And don't forget about Polymer Clay Adventure, our virtual retreat. It's still going on. It's a whole year, and you don't miss anything because everything's recorded. And we just released Lisa Renner's video, which was a huge success. She created the most amazing bathing beauty dolls, and you'll have to check them out at polymerclayadventure.com. So we'll see you next time, and I'll take some pictures to share with you on the blog at polymerclaytv.com. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.